Hi guys, welcome to this impromptu reading. I definitely would like to do a little bit more of these when I get the chance, but for this session I've put it out there to the universe to, in a controlled way, because again I don't want to get bombarded here, but in a nice controlled way, divinely orchestrated, I'd like to bring through messages for you guys. So definitely my suggestion is to listen up. If you felt drawn to this video, there could be some type of message in here for you. But, you know, we'll do our best here. And just to create a little bit of a semblance of order, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and lay a few cards, maybe into three decks. Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Into three piles. You don't have to pick a pile, by the way. This is not an official pick a card reading, but I'm going to put the decks here so it'll help me to stay within, I don't know what the word is, the time, stay within a time frame. Because, you know, when I open it up to messages for you guys, there's so many of you listening. Is there really? I don't know. As I said that, there are so many of you listening that it's just all of your, you know, spirit friends and family may want to come through, and it's just like there's just so many. So just to keep us rolling is my point. Okay, both. Okay. Again, it's not an official pick a card. We're just going to roll with the messages that come through. Let me go ahead and pick up the card. We see the guides are here because look at the card that fell here. It's giving me some real wheel vibes. Look, you saw this one pop out. You saw this one pop out. There's one more on the floor. Let's see what it is. Three of Pentacles. Thank you. That's the collaboration while we do this for you guys. Okay, so it's a little bit of a treat. Yay. All right, so let's jump in because here I am trying to save daylight. Always starting later in the day. Oh, all right. Okay, so hold on. Let me see what I'm getting. All right. It's almost, you know, it almost feels like, you know, like when the auditorium is kind of getting filled up and you're waiting for everyone to take their seats. That's the image that I'm getting. So I'm just going to give it a quick moment, and we're going to start with the middle cards right here. Thank you. All right. So let's see collectively. They're showing faceless here and nameless. So this is definitely a collective reading for a lot of you. Okay, so if you're watching, here's a message that's coming through. So energetically speaking, they're saying a lot of you have come a long way. Now, you may not realize it, but you've been doing a lot of work. You've been putting in a lot of work, and you may not think that you're doing that on the surface. When I say the surface, I mean your conscious mind awareness that's aware of what you've been doing and can tell a narrative chronologically about what you've been doing. That part of you may not recognize the depths of the work and the unraveling and the unfolding and the confronting and all of this that you're doing in the ethers, so to speak, and in the spheres, they're saying, and I'll just say in the different levels of your field. And the different parts of your consciousness is another way to say. And your consciousnesses do speak to each other, you know, and some of them are not speaking to each other. So they're drawing a nice little parallel between the inner world and the outside world. As many of you may already know, what you see outside of you is what you carry vibrationally inside of you. You may say, hey, Jonelle, that's not true because I saw something on TV about a mass murder and about this and about that, and I'm nothing like that. Or, hey, my parents are alcoholics and I'm not, and I've never, and I understand that some of you may be indignant when you hear readers or energy workers say, hey, what you see, if you spot it, you got it. But you have to understand that just because you're aware of one thing, or one surface level about yourself, you know, based on the conscious mind, assuming you even remember details, it doesn't mean that you know all of you. Remember, you carry many aspects of you. You've been here in different incarnations. You've been on other planets. You've been in other systems. And so these energies, these vibrations are still within your field. And so it's very common, for example, when I'm doing a past life reading, that I will see some stuff in someone's field that's active that they would probably not want to be associated with, but they don't realize that that's a past lifetime aspect that they just haven't consciously become aware of. Okay, so yes, you may not be a thief or a murderer or an alcoholic or whatever it is that you consider to be a bad person in this lifetime, but in another lifetime, at least one, you've been it. Okay. Sorry guys, there's always like some noise somewhere, if dogs or kids or something, and we're just going to do our best with it. Anyway, so Spirit is showing here that a lot of you guys are writing your story this lifetime. You're narrating your story, and you're creating likes and dislikes and ups and downs and agrees and disagrees and this and that. And you don't realize that you're fighting yourself. Plain and simple. And I see it a lot. Yes, we have to, definitely we're working towards healing our world and this and that. But so when we're healing our world, and whether you they're saying follow, but whether you follow or whether you fall into categories that mainstream media would say you're a social justice warrior or you're a conservative or you're whatever, you have to understand that the enemies that you see in your world are things that you have participated in other times and places. So collectively speaking, quick case in point, let's say that you, for example, and as controversial as it may sound, it's not really if you look at energy and you understand how it works in this way, right? Let's say that you come in this lifetime and you have a lot of race issues, regardless of what race you are, what country you find yourself, what age, what gender, whatever you find yourself. Let's say race has been a major theme in your life, or it's something that grinds your gears, or you just whatever. Let's say that you in this lifetime find yourself incarnating into a race that is not, not one that receives a lot of privilege in today's world, wherever you are in the world, right? And you may harbor a lot of feelings about that, and it's understandable because here we are taking a lot of L's, in this lifetime just because of the way you look. But if you look in your past, for example, this is not everybody, but for example, somebody who carries a lot of that, they're very heated, they're very involved, they're just whatever. You look in their lifetime and you see that, oh my God, you were a member of the race in this lifetime that gives you the stress that you're thinking about, right? So your race has changed in this lifetime. So you have to understand, and then on top of that, you may be actively, fighting against an institution in this lifetime that you were a part of in at least one other lifetime. And in this lifetime, if you look at your soul curriculum, you realize that you came into this lifetime with the express purpose of embodying a race that is going to have a hard time in proportion to what it is that you put out there in your past, right? I hope that makes sense. If you, on an even more simplified level, if you notice it, oh my God, people keep stealing my stuff in this lifetime. Yes, of course, you can say, oh, you have to learn boundaries. Oh, you have to, and that may all well be true, but I guarantee you, I'm sure in a past lifetime, or quite a few maybe, you may have been stealing other people's things. You may have dispossessed people of things. So the point is that we don't like to throw stones in glass houses. We all know that. We get it. Who would do that? We know the old adage, but the fact is that a lot of people don't realize they're in a glass house. And this is not to say don't become, enraged or indignant or whatever you want to say, or moved, whatever your adjective is that you'd like to say about whatever issue it is, or whatever it is you see going on in your personal life or the collective life. All the advice is, the encouragement here today is to stop and try to, not to say don't rush to judge, but definitely don't rush to judge. Look at what's happening. Think about how you can be part of the solution. Think about how you can pump compassion, how you can come up with innovative plans, how you can change things, how you can do your best. That's all we can do our best, but do so without carrying conscious or subconscious belief that that is not you, that could ever not be you. Many people will say, I would never kill somebody, I would never. And then I go into their lifetimes, or look in their energy fields, and oh, here's the vibration. And not only that, but it's active in this lifetime so that you can become aware of it, so that you can heal the distorted thoughts that lie under there. So, yeah, that's a message coming through. And look at this card. It's like she's writing this pen with this pen, but the pen has, it's like a little tree-ish, oh my God, where are my words today? It's like a little pen that has like branches coming off, and that's exactly what it is. You're writing a narrative in this lifetime without realizing that it's thoroughly informed by the energies and the vibrations and the frequencies that you hold within your own field. The issue is you may not be aware of it. And some people will be like, how dare you? How dare you say that about me? I would never. Well, it's right here in your field, and that's kind of why it's also showing up again in this lifetime to this degree. Okay? So anyway, I'm not going to beat a dead horse on that, but that's what they want to bring forward with this energy here. And they're giving the energy of washing, of laundry, because they want us to clear these things. And the first thing that we clear when we don't know what we're clearing is we clear ourselves of judgments. So stop the judging, because I guarantee that you would probably get very quiet if you really tapped into where you've been, okay, and what you've done. And it has happened in past lifetimes where, in past lifetimes, what am I saying? It's happened in client readings before, God bless, where the guides have shown me things, and you know, me, guys, I keep it 100. I try to be as transparent as possible, but they'll be like, no, don't mention that. And I'm like, why? Why would you show me, or why can I see it and I can't mention it? And they told me, let me see if I can mention this anecdote. I think so. Okay, so there was one client, I don't even remember who, and they wouldn't even be able to identify themselves based on this story, this snippet, because I never shared it with them like I was instructed to. But I was doing a client, God bless, and one of the things that came up for this client, I think it was like last year, or 2 years ago when I was still in Japan, I think. Was that 3 years ago? Anyway. One of the things that came up is that this lovely client had, in another lifetime, as a man, a head of the family, actually killed the entire family. You know, we hear about this on TV. We're like, oh my God, right? They had done that, and we were doing, readings, and during the course of this session, I was in the field, and I needed to convey some information to this person so they could get some work done at the conscious level in a state of awareness. And my guide said, don't mention that. And I'll tell you why. The reason why we have to be careful when we mention certain things that we find in the field of a client is because the client at the conscious level is here, and they're fascinated. They want to know. They're like, tell me, what do you see? But we have to remember, it's not just them at the table. There are also different aspects of them that are carried with them in the subconscious. These parts of them are from past lifetimes, also parts of them that may have been bruised and fragmented in this lifetime. Whether you want to call it inner child, but it's usually different ages, right? And you could see their ages as well. You can see where they're from. But it's the client, the soul. But the client has a personality that came down here. It's that client's life. But the soul has also incarnated in, or have included different aspects from different lifetimes. So when you're healing things in this lifetime, a lot of times you're just healing unresolved issues from past lives, and those are the aspects. And you may not notice when you slip into these aspects like altars, but you do throughout the day until you start to bring awareness to what's happening, and you focus on healing those energies. You may not even need to know what lifetime it is and blah, blah, blah. Just see what's going on, the behavior, really sit with yourself, really delve in. Of course, you can have whoever you'd like to help facilitate. Some people prefer a therapist, some people prefer a spiritual leader, some people prefer a healer, or anything like that. But Journaling is another option. Meditation is another option. But anyway, what happens is when we're tapping into that aspect of the client, that aspect is listening, or sometimes they're defiant because they have their own personalities, right? You have your own personalities as you express in that way. And it was told to me that if that part of this client had heard that news, it would have triggered that client into grief, a lot of grief that that aspect wasn't yet ready to face. Okay, so that was an example. Now the client, if I were to tell the client would be like, oh my God, really? That's crazy. What? I didn't know that. But then the client may start to have emotional disturbances that come out of nowhere, or physiological symptoms that come out of nowhere, or accidents, or just whatever, because now the energy is very active and it's triggered, just like a person. When a person's so sensitive and so tender in a trauma, you don't come heavy with things that they're not able to heal yet, or feel yet, or even process yet. And so that's one of the things that we have to be mindful of. Okay, and so without getting into too much detail, the team had said that if that client had heard that, it could have led to so much disturbance that maybe the client may have gotten to such a depressed state that maybe they may, anyway, I don't want to get into it too much, but the point is that sometimes we have to be mindful. So we are carrying energies within us that are us. They're us. We're just dissociated from them, from those parts of us. We don't recognize it, and sometimes we just straight out deny it. And that's why when we look at people and we blame them, oh, this person's such a liar, that person's always late, or this person's so impulsive, I can't stand that person, what you're doing is you're actually pointing at yourself, because the world represents back to us vibrations that we have within our field. Ever wonder how how come those people can attract that and I can't even attract that? Yeah, well, because the vibration in your field isn't strong enough for you to even catch that kind of movie on your TV, or to catch that good news on your TV, or to meet that person. You're getting other stuff until you work through it. This is about tweaking the energetic frequencies that we carry. All right. So, wow, that's interesting. So that's a collective message that's coming through. If you spot it, you got it. And the main thing that they want to say is try not to judge. Do not judge. Do not judge, because I'm telling you. And sometimes we're like, oh, I'm over this, whatever. Don't judge. Just don't judge with it, okay? Yeah, and it's interesting. All right, so let's move on. Three of Swords, there's that sadness, yeah? The Justice card. Just I said, don't judge. Don't you be judging. Don't you be judging. When I pulled this over, I was like, I wonder if that's the Seven of Swords. And it's not. But here's the Seven of Swords. And the Eight of Wands. Okay. Interesting. All right. Let me take a look, because now I'm opening it up here. Hold on, guys. Let me zoom in very quickly to see what they would like to draw our attention to. Yeah. They are coming now talking about karmic information. I'm just kind of getting this feeling like there's this feeling of a lot of maybe some sadness, a lot of grief. So one of the things that are coming up right now for you guys, maybe some of you listening here, but just generally speaking for the collective, is in line with memories. Now, let's talk about memories, because memories are coming up for a lot of you where you're having a lot of grief energy, a lot of sadness energy. I feel like a lot of shame energy, but it's a lot along the way of apologetic remorse. That's it. A lot of remorse, and the kind of shame that goes with remorse, especially for energies that you put out towards other people. But when I say let's talk about memories, remember the memories. Memories can be a bit tricky, and we know this psychologically speaking. That's why memories carry not 100% of weight in a courtroom, because you can bring in your friendly local psychologist and therapist and neurologist, or even more slam dunk at home, to show you how shaky memories can be, right? But that being said, when we're talking about memories in an energetic way, they are images that we have made from a place of distortion and assigned to events, to people. So if you're not seeing properly to begin with, meaning that you don't have 100% grounding in love, because guess what? You're a human, and you're seeing through the lens of your wounds, the lens of your conditioning, the lens of your pathology, your airs of superiority, your ego, your this and that, you're not seeing clearly. If you're already not seeing clearly, and sometimes just not seeing clearly because of your age, and you don't have the wisdom or your level of expertise in a certain area, you don't have it. And so you're seeing through the lens of, fog. You're seeing through fog. Therefore, what you're recording as memory, whether it's from the current lifetime or past lifetimes or earlier on in this lifetime, is by definition distorted and unreliable. So when we experience these memories, then we start to do a number on ourselves. Fear, thanks. I was going to say feel, they're saying fear. This is it. It's all fear. Thanks for having me. Good night, guys. But we feel remorse, we feel grief, we feel anger, we feel all of these, we feel righteousness, we feel all these energies that are just low vibe. They're fear-based, and they haunt us. Many people, they carry the victim mode, they carry the martyr mode, they carry the low vibration, low self-worth mode. I mean, we're out here. This is where we are. But we have to understand that we break our own hearts because we never were seeing the situation clearly to begin with. And we have assigned thoughts and emotions based on what we thought we saw. And so then we start to experience the effects of our misperception. So we're not really, it's kind of like having such a heavy debt and such a high interest rate that when you're paying back, you haven't even touched the principal yet. You're just paying off interest, just trying to pay off interest. So with this, you haven't even touched the real issue yet. When you're feeling these emotions, you're just feeling the effects of your own misperceived notions, your own misperceptions. And so we're breaking our hearts all over again. And so the guides are coming to say, it's time to change that. It's time to change that. So on top of that whole issue with memory and nostalgia and rose-colored glasses or dark-colored glasses, whatever way you swing, when we have memories and they come to your conscious mind is going to assign faces, it's going to assign names, it's going to assign locations, it's going to assign timing, it's going to assign details. But 9.5 times out of 10, what you think you're seeing, what you think you're feeling, what you think you're reacting to, what you think you're responding to, what you think you're interpreting is not right. Okay? So I know that makes no sense, but think about it this way. You know how we make a joke here in human comedy. We always have the joke, and you'll know it already. When the person's in the therapist's office and they start talking about something that happened at work, and I hate it, and then the therapist just says, "Tell me about your mother," or "Tell me about your father." Because listen, we know it goes back. It's never what you think you're upset about. It's not that ex you keep thinking about. It's not that thank you. The guys are so funny. It's not that coworker that got under your, skin and showed you up at work. No, it's about you at age 2 in your nonverbal times, or whenever the nonverbal times are, not getting what you needed. Or it's you in that past lifetime when the ship capsized and you were the only one who didn't get saved and you're still carrying it. It's never what you think it is. And so think about it. If you're clinging to details that are not freaking details, they're not for reals. They're not FR here, okay? For reals with a Z at the end, it's not. Then you're clinging to details of a story that is not even real. And if the details of your story are not real, then guess what else is not real? The story, the narrative. And if you study history, listen, we're going to look at the History Channel and just laugh together. If you've ever sat in a graduate school history class, you laughing, because you're like, what's going on in the History Channel here? There's so many different narratives and don't forget, don't even go to the PhD level of looking at history, because then you have to consider the discourse of whose narrative is this? Is this the winners? Is it the narrative of this culture? Is it the narrative of this gender? No, let's look at history from the narrative of somebody who has disabilities. All of a sudden, you're seeing a different history, right? And so you have to understand things are shaky because we're in the land of perception. So things are not real. So you might ask, well, what is real, Jay? If you're saying, oh my God, mind blown, or not mind blown, I don't know. If you're saying I can't trust what I've come to know, that's exactly what I'm saying. And you might ask, well, what can I trust? Like, what's real? What can I believe? And I'm not trying to send you into a whole Matrix Reloaded times 10, or, oh my God, I'm going to jump off a cliff, Inception, because I'll wake up. It's not about that. That's just irresponsible. It's about understanding, hey, if I realize that I'm not seeing the world clearly, if I'm seeing that person handing me the pen as being aggressive when they hand it, or giving me a little extra look that I'm not comfortable with, something's up. Maybe I'm not seeing right. Just because I think I'm seeing it doesn't mean I'm seeing it. So then what can I rely on? The best thing that you can rely on, as the guides have said countless times, is to be flexible. Flexibility in the way you approach the world will save you. And what does that look like? That looks like, number one, understanding nothing I see is real. Number two, nothing lasts forever. Listen, is Buddha in the building? Buddha's like, hey, I tried, right? Nothing lasts forever. And sorry guys, speaking of nothing lasts forever, this lighting is just doing us dirty right now, but it is what it is. Nothing lasts forever. Everything is ephemeral, and things are relative. Everything is relative. You think you're occupying the same space as someone else, and you may be in the same time and location as far as we could see, but you're not seeing the same reality. You're having a different take on what's happening, and not one of you is going to be any more right than the other. Now, maybe in a sense, you can say one may be more right if one has more of a healed perspective than the other, but then you'd have to consider, what does it mean to be healed? And that is a great question. The more love you can bring in, and I don't mean love like I love everybody, I donate, I this and that. I mean love meaning the absence of fear. Meaning looking at, come on, lighting. Looking at the absence of fear. Now, of course, you don't have to be in a monastery to get to this kind of idea. In fact, all you need to do, same thing the guides have always been saying, is find time to sit alone, understand that there is more to be discovered about the life that you're seeing, about what you're making of your world, the meaning that you're making of the people in your life, the meaning that you're making about yourself, and take a moment to see how you can expand your consciousness to include more than just what you're seeing. How flexible can you be? Oh my gosh, please excuse me guys. I'm so sorry about all the noise outside. Maybe it just bothers me. I don't know if it bothers you guys, but it bothers me a bit. Fear, I'm not in a place of love. Well, I am also channeling. So yes, look at the 7 of Swords here and the 8 of Wands. This is the thing. We have a lot of energetic exchange in this world. We rub up against each other. We're constantly learning about our world. We're conditioning ourselves. We're being conditioned. We're reinforcing. We're being entrained. But we have to stop and we have to ask, what is underlying that learning that's coming in? Hold on. All right, not sure if that's going to help, but okay. Should get a little bit more quiet. Oh my gosh, what is that card doing? Okay, hello. Strength, yeah. Thank you. They're saying another component to opening up yourself to, really seeing, speaking of, look at this new beginning here, is that you have to be okay with letting go of who you think you are. Because again, who you think you are is based on a perception. And if you understand that, if you can accept this idea that I don't actually know who I am, then that means that you are definitely in the right place. This card fell out, the 10 of Swords, but actually it looks like stabbing a man with 10 swords in his back. We're just talking about being able to let go of your identity, your sense of self. Letting go of your identity doesn't mean that no one's asking you to sacrifice anything, because always remember, you cannot sacrifice that which is not real. I mean, that which is real. You cannot sacrifice something that's real. Something that's real just is. It can't be sacrificed. It can't be given away. It can't be lost. What you can sacrifice is the misperceptions that you have around it. What you can sacrifice in connections with people is the toxicity that you have between you and other people. That's the cord cutting. When you cut cords with people, you could never cut real cords of love. It just doesn't work that way. Because, if you were in your healed state, you would never even have the desire to cut cords of love. If you even have the belief that you can, which I doubt you would. And so you see, we're kind of like just really being asked to, cultivate these skills that are very necessary at this time, and understanding that nothing that you see is real. Everything that is real, which is love and light, literally light, energy, radiant energy is real. Love is real, right? All of that is covered over by the perceptions that we see, because what we see is just a reflection of the thoughts that we hold, and our thoughts are based off of misperceptions, lack of love, right? Somewhere along your energetic, thanks. The guides are so sweet. Somewhere along your field, your multidimensional field, you have chosen to be in a state of fear, and you've chosen to turn away from love. Now you may be like, oh my God, I'm the most loving person ever. There is somewhere along your path in your energetic field where you are not choosing love. Okay, just trust me on this. You may not be able to see it, and that's okay. That's what we're here to do. We're here to build awareness. So understanding that only love is real, love and light. Understanding that we can't see it properly because we have distortion in our field. Understanding, therefore, that everything that we see, nothing is real. We're doing the best to see, but we're interpreting. All we're doing is witnessing the images that we've made, the projections that we're projecting onto this meaningless world based on the distortions we carry within, which we're still trying to get to. Also understanding that the emotions we feel and the manifested effects in the world and the feelings and this and that, these are only effects. You're experiencing the effects of your own misperception. You're not actually experiencing real love. And so when you're even in your happiest of moments in this and that, it will pale in comparison to what is really, the real. So we're just experiencing the effects of our distortions. It would be like the guides, in order to give us a great analogy, would say something like, it's like them coming into our room at night, and we're waking up in the middle of the night because we've had a nightmare. And you know, even more, they have to tell us we are in the nightmare and we are having these things. They understand, just like a parent knows, oh, you're just having a nightmare. That's not real. You think it's real, but you're just having a nightmare. It feels real to us here because we are incarnated. That is the soul's curriculum. That's what you signed up for, and you're here for it. But while you're here, you know, let's get some skills on the board. Let's get some know-how on the board. So one of those skills that you want to develop, again, to reiterate, is to learn to be flexible. Learn to understand that if you are not seeing as clearly, and everything is relative, then it would behoove you to be open and flexible and amenable to the changes that may need to come in for you. And that could include pruning. You know, pruning season is when we have to lose things, we have to release. It's a season of release. We have to let go of that which no longer serves us. And it also means learning to be open to what does serve us. So that's acceptance, learning how to accept. I love the serenity prayer. Remember that prayer? God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Ding. The courage to change the things that I can, ding, and the wisdom to know the difference, ding. And so that little prayer covers everything. Because sometimes people have such an issue, myself included, such a hard time accepting and receiving, that if you give them a compliment, they'll be like, shut up, stop lying to me. Or they'll even get angry at you because they think you're lying, because they don't believe you. No. Take it back. You can, if you're tuned in, you can even feel the energy come right back to you. It's like, whoa. So sometimes people have trouble receiving and accepting what is. Okay? When you learn to accept what is, you learn to roll with it. You learn to roll with the waves. You understand that today I feel this way, tomorrow I feel that way, but it doesn't mean that one is right and the other is wrong. In fact, what if both are right? What if both are wrong? What if something else is going on and you're not even aware of that, right? And so the guides are asking us to kind of compromise with ourselves. And that compromise calls upon compassion. That compromise looks like this. Hey, self, I don't know what's going on entirely, but I'm willing to show myself compassion because there's comfort in knowing that I'm just doing my best here. And maybe the best that I can do is to understand that my power lies, my strength lies in being able to show up and listen and receive and surrender. Surrender is another one. Hold on, let me, goodness gracious, I really do need to buy another lamp. Hold on, guys. Did that help? Not really? Okay. Putting on 3 lights and not really. Okay, yeah, they're like, get another deck. Okay. We'll get Alana Fairchild's Lightworker Oracle. Love that deck. But let me just pull a card there. Yeah, look at this. Boop. Victory, boink, comes from being able to keep going and to keep cleaning up as you go along the way. This is the Fool card coming 2 times about having a new beginning, right? But you're giving yourself a new beginning when you can accept what is. Hold on. That's interesting. So I thought that they were going to come through with some individual messages, but maybe this is what they wanted to come through with. And I'm not surprised because they've been working a lot on perceptions. What is this? Oh, listen. On us remedying our perceptions. Hold on. Let me go get this deck of cards, guys. Here we go. Special delivery. Okay. Get my cherry microphone. Cute. Okay. Oh, I wonder if we're going to do energy work. Why? Why am I feeling it? Hold on. That moment when you're just always entertained. Oopsies. Got it. Wow, what was that? Okay. Oh, we are going to do energy work. Okay. Yeah, get it. Okay. Downloads. Downloads. Come get your downloads. Yup, see? Because I see this orb going straight into your consciousness, and then we have this card where there you are, super cute, and your team just downloading. Look at this past life activation. We're just going to pretend we don't see it, because I'm just kidding. Hold on, let me pull another card. Okay. Oh, okay. They're like, and sit down. Okay, okay. Yes, sir, ma'am. Or, yeah. Okay. So funny. All right, so we're just gonna, let's take a seat, and or you can stand or whatever you guys would like, but I'm gonna have a seat. I'm gonna take a sip of water, and then I'm just gonna do a quick little energy work for you here. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a little clearing for you. I'm going to cut some cords. Definitely feeling a lot of toxic energy in some of you right now within your field, and that's okay. We're here to clear it out. We're going to vacuum you out. Also, what else are you guys doing? Somebody here, they're going to be giving you a list of names, more than one of you, sure. They're going to be giving you some information about people in your life. So go ahead and receive that list of names, and they'll assign whatever qualities they would like to assign to those lists. But we're going to set you straight a little bit. We'll set you right. Okay. All right, so here we go. I'm curious, if you feel something, go ahead and leave a comment, because I'm always like, do some of you feel it? Some of you do and some of you don't. You don't have to feel it, so don't worry. All right. Action. Okay, so we're going to bring in, they've been doing a lot of clearing. We're going to go ahead and bring in a lot of light, and each of you will receive any energetic codes, any information that is individual to you. But we're going to receive collective energy now. So let's go ahead and receive it. Okay, so they're just going to continue. Some of you are getting some additional procedures done, so they're just going to, oh, they're saying they're still working. Okay. Okay, they're still working, so, but in the meantime, yes, I want to share with you that some of you, I wonder if you were able to perceive of this, but they have whispered a prayer over each person who's listening to this broadcast whenever, and they have within that prayer reminded you of why you've come here to earth. So if you receive that information consciously and you remember just hearing something about that or getting that impression, definitely you can DM me or drop it into the chat, or but also if you didn't get it at the conscious level, please know that it will make its way up to your conscious level and manifest in your world. So keep an eye out for that information. I'll keep mine a little quiet, but one of the images that I got for me when they were saying that is I saw myself in a what would that be, a courtyard maybe, that it seemed like India. It looked like India. It doesn't have to have been, right? But and yeah, I looked a little different, and my hair was longer, and I was wearing what looks like a sari and such, and it, in the image, the vision, I was meeting with somebody, and I was discussing my mission, my plan, and I was so excited because I wanted to share and help the world, and I guess doing this, what I'm doing, but and many of you may not know this about me, but when I was younger, oh my gosh, I wanted to be Indian so badly, and I know I've had some past life recall having lived in India. But anyway, so there's a little bit of an affinity there that I love. But anyway, so if some of you receive that, I just saw someone else's mission right now as I said that. It's like about clothes making or clothes manufacturing. I wonder who that is. So with textiles and making things. So that's interesting. So they're going ahead and they're closing off. So some of you needed a little bit of a surgical procedure in the etheric realm there. Seeing someone getting some procedures done on their eyes, somebody here in the spinal area, not exactly the spine, but the spinal area. Yeah, they're saying a word, but I don't want to say because I might butcher it. I don't know what I'm hearing. It's like colossal, something. Corpus callosum. Dude, I need to. Sorry, guys. I haven't gotten to that chapter yet about the brain. Corpus callosum. Yeah, that's in the brain somewhere. What is that? Okay, I should know that. Oh, is that the one that holds the hemispheres together? Anyway, just somebody is doing something there. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so thanks, guys. So there are some, hold on, I gotta yawn. So yeah, whenever, excuse me, they do the energy work. I yawn sometimes. So I'm seeing this energy here kind of close up now. So they're closing up the field that was opened for the sake of this healing energy to come through. So we want to thank them. And here we have the healing energy coming through. Also, there was some cord cutting that happened. I felt a lot of you guys releasing some shame, releasing some guilt and remorse as well during the healing session. Okay. I have to laugh because I was like, before the call, I was like, guys, I'm only making this 30 minutes and no more, because I want to keep the videos a little bit short, because I know some, we have short attention spans, but listen, who am I to rush spirit, right? I don't really know. Let them do what they need. Okay, there's a message coming in. Okay, thank you. For this time right now, there's going to be a lot going on for a lot of you, especially as it comes to dealing with connections, interrelationships, other people. And Spirit is saying the best advice to take right now is to just sit back and let people do what they're going to do. Let them show up, let them show out, let them present to you, let them present themselves to you. Remember, people can do as they wish. It is their decision in how to act out into the world, how to take action, set motion in the world. You have a choice on how to act as well, and that includes not engaging, right? So sometimes we feel that just because somebody acts out towards us, and when I say acts out, I mean they initiate actions towards us, we feel that we have to receive it in some way, that we have to respond, we have to react. And sometimes it's just you don't have to. You don't have to. And that's where free will comes in. And we could see this concept in, the whole idea of when it comes to karma, you are not responsible for what other people do. You're only responsible for what you do. Even though you both may have co-created a situation together, at the end of the day, when the tallying comes down, it's really about you, about what you did. So be mindful about the actions that you're taking at this time. You don't want to be erratic. You want to be calm. You want to be reflective. You want to contemplate before you act. Right? Now they're laughing because you may not want to do those things, but that's the prescriptive want. You want to do this. Trust us on this. Because what you don't want to do is create issues for yourself later down the line because you are jumping the gun or that you're not assessing the situation properly. And also remember to treat other people with compassion, because, and they're like, well, say it again. I love how they're like we're literally doing it like this. Well, say it again. What they're going to say again is because you are connecting with you. Okay, you don't see it. It's one of those things where I suspect that it's more true than we know, when we're like, oh, everybody's you, and do unto others as you would do unto yourself, because we're all one and everything you see is really you. What if you transition and then you realize, oh shoot, that was true. There's no one else here because it's me. It was always me, and I was in this simulation, and I was all the characters, and I didn't know. And so just trust us on this. Please be kind to other people, okay? Watch the judgments. If you spot it, that's right, you got it. And just because you can't see that you got it doesn't mean that you don't got it. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, okay? So that's why we seek first to understand and then to be understood, because we don't want to be fools out here. Look, anyway, God is good. You get a good little laugh. Thank you guys. This was a bit of an impromptu reading, so impromptu that I did not even check for adequate lighting, knowing full well that it would get dark in here. I'm sorry. Am I sorry though? Love you. Anyway, if you'd like to have a personal reading with me or an energy shift session with me via Zoom, live, with some hot beverage of some sort, please do check my Etsy page. And until then, God bless you, do your best, and yeah, we out here. All right? Bye.